if you think about from the fundamentals of the populations, the population is projected to grow like up to about 70 million in the next, I don't know, 10 years.
Yes.
In that regard, you have to think about how many people are likely to be traveling in the next 10 years. Then you have to think about the overseas investment and training and opportunities.
Priscilla will not agree with you.
Well, she has the right to do so, and I'm prepared to defend her, to defend her right. But I have to stick to the point in terms of we have to look at the argument on both sides.
Priscilla, Tunde says the economy is not going to be sustainable if we don't open up more airports. As a Londoner, how can you oppose another airport?
Just before Priscilla speaks, there's another element to this one. It's time of the competitions of London or UK as a broader one. Because if the airports are not here in London or in the UK, France, Germany, Holland are going to have this type of airports,
and they will supersede London.
And they will.
I am all for forward planning, expansion, and considering what is going to happen when the population grows. But we always make it seem as though it's the end all and be all. I don't think it's absolutely going to be the end all and be all. I really think that if we take time out and just go back a little bit and consider, say, in the last 10 years, just how much has the population grown, and Heathrow has been able to sustain, and now we have a 5th terminal designated solely for British Airways, by the way, and we've done all of this, we've come forward so much more. What did it take? Did we not still manage with the 2 runways and we were able to still stand?
Yeah, but Priscilla, you see, the missing point in your argument, as much as credible as it is that you have to think about the computations that other countries are posting. You have to think about what is the projection for population growth, what is the projection for investment opportunities. You have to think about the convenience of the opportunities for all these other things that we're thinking about.
As much as I accept, I also have to take into consideration the fact that we now live in a virtual world. Once upon a time, you had to be physically present in order to have a meeting. Nowadays, we sit in London and have meetings with people in New York, in Amsterdam. So all of us gather together. So we don't always, we're not always flying or traveling in order to achieve this.
This airport issue will generate discussions and debates, and Otumba wants to take it to Nigeria. So let's take it to Nigeria. Listen to this report. Minister of Power, shall I say ex-minister, Professor Barath Nnaji was yesterday relieved of his job following the acceptance of his resignation with immediate effect by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. In a 2-paragraph statement from presidential media aide Dr. Ruben Abati, the president thanked Professor Nnaji for his services to the nation under the present administration and wishes him well in his future endeavors. Otumba, this man 48 hours ago was the Minister of Energy. In essence, he was giving us electricity. Electricity went to the maximum Nigeria ever seen in the last 10 years to 4.47 megawatts. That was the highest we ever seen. Even though South Africa has 40,000 megawatts. We were quiet. We were happy with 4.4 megawatts. Of course, inadequate, but the highest. Why will he be now sad, as it were?
Well, because the conflict of interest, because this ex-minister has a company that also bidded for wanting to acquire
part of the contract from the ministry.
And I think the right thing for him is to do. And also, I must say, the president has done very well to have asked him to go, because anywhere in the whole world, when you have interest in terms of business and at the same time you are serving the government, you need to understand that both of them cannot work together.
Well, so according to the report here, it says it was widely believed to be connected with the role he played in the privatization of the successor companies unbundled from the Power Holding Company of Nigeria, PCN, currently undergoing technical evaluations by prospective bidders. Priscilla, you were in Nigeria a few days ago, and you were at a meeting with this professor. What happened?
Well, I was at the Sustainable Energy for All that was being launched by the UN at the presidency last week, Thursday. And the good professor was there speaking of the improvements in power and all the things that he has put in place. And indeed, when I did speak to a few people, they were telling me that, yes, power has improved in Nigeria. And when I heard this news that he has resigned or relieved of his duties, I was somewhat disappointed. And I think it's a setback for the country, and I think it's a setback for the administration. I appreciate the conflict of interest here. However, I think we should have dealt with that and taking that aspect out of the equation. Because my concern now is that the way, how you said, you know, we're having 4 megawatts of
Yes.
power, and how far that has come and what it has taken for that to happen at this point. To have somebody else come in, unfortunately, continuity is not something that registers within our administrative system in governance, and therefore I'm concerned as to when somebody else comes in now, are we going to continue with this 4 megawatts? Is he going to have his own, or is he or she going to have her own ideas? Are we going to uproot everything and start all over again?
Dr. Odo, Professor Naji said whoever becomes the Minister of Energy will always find problems in his hands. On this particular issue, he said that the people benefiting from the energy sector in Nigeria will always fight back. He was trying to reorganize, reevaluate, remodernize, and
Absolutely.
that the big barons will always fight back. Is this the situation?
Well, I mean, in terms of the analysis, this was right. If you go back a bit of history, we know that Bola Ige was Minister for Mines and Power. And then when he assumed office, you know, under President Obasanjo, he said that Nigeria was going to have light in the next 6 months. Unfortunately, he could not do it. Anybody that becomes the Minister for Mines and Power, or in other words, Minister to generate electricity,
yes,
in simple terms, are going to be contending with so many forces. You have to think about the people that are supplying the generator, you know, because they are, you know, opposing forces. They don't want to lose the market. You have to think about the people that are supplying the diesel to the generator. They are not going to lose it. You have to think about the people that are working within the NEPA system as well. So there are so many competing forces. But over and above all, it's just a question of the leadership of the presidency. Whoever becomes the new minister, the president needs to give that person a good directions of travel and say that, you know where Professor Onaji left it. He has increased, you know, the quantity of the megawatts, but as a nation, I mean, the amount is just only the sort of amount that powered platform.
Exactly. But we're rejoicing.
No, we are talking about a population of about 160 million, over 80,000 something kilometers breadth and length, and so we are not even started in terms of what we know what we can do. I'm so sorry to say.
Otumba, what was your last take on this issue? The unions were jubilating. In fact, some of them quoted the Bible. Yes, God has answered our enemy. Our Pharaoh has gone. In Nigeria, everything has to be quoted around the Bible. Now, do you think the Pharaoh has gone and we will now start seeing electricity? Is this the solution to our problem?
Again, as Dr. Idris said, 4-point-something megawatts is not even up to what Enfield, a small enclave in London, uses to generate or what they need to use. Now, and everything that we have in Nigeria as a problem is man-made. I don't know why we cannot have policy for continuity.
Okay,
like
so
Cecilia said,
we definitely must inform Mr. President that there must be issue of continuity. But the Ministry of Power in Nigeria has always generated a lot of, and that there is no death this time around is a major plus. Well, Professor Naji, thank you for helping Nigeria. We're going on a short break, but you don't go anywhere because you decide. When we return, we'll be discussing with a member of the Action Congress of Nigeria, and who will be speaking contrary to a member of the PDP, because there is an election taking place in October in Ondo State, and you don't go away because you decide.
The world becomes a little smaller. Borders become bridges. Oceans become opportunities. And any day becomes a good day to connect. Be it to send money or receive it. Our low rates, 10-minute transactions, and thousands of locations worldwide make connecting easy. And easy is good. MoneyGram. Choice is in your hands.
The biggest African concert in Europe ever.
Yo, this is Africa Unplugged.